You were about to go home, but you found a calico cat hiding behind the rear wheel of the car with a pair of big round eyes staring at you motionless lie. You were immediately moved, and then you took the kitten out from under the car. It is said that Calico is the Yu Yifei of the cat world. Little Calico, you are lucky to meet me. As you said that, you picked up the calico cat by the back of its neck and took it into the car. Let's go home with brother. Brother has delicious food at home. As soon as you finished speaking, you realized that something was wrong. Why did you say it sound like you were abducting a good girl? Then you looked at the kitten in the passenger seat, and sure enough, you saw 3 points of disgust, 3 points of vigilance, and 4 points of anger in its gem-like eyes. This kitten is quite dramatic, as if it can understand what you say. Since there are many bacteria on stray cats, you decided to take it to get a rabies vaccine first, so you went directly to the pet hospital downstairs in the community. Then, the pet doctor smiled and introduced the specific items to you. Not only does it include bathing, physical examination, hair grooming, and vaccination for the kitten, but there is also a more cost-effective package that also includes a free sterilization. Although the sterilization is not for yourself, you still shuddered after hearing it, and then looked at the kitten next to you. It was quite calm when talking about the items just now, but when it heard the word sterilization, it suddenly became crazy, barking and biting in the cage, showing great resistance. Seeing this, you found it a little funny. Could it be that this cat really understands what sterilization means? Since it is resisting, you also smiled and told the doctor that sterilization is fine. If it is healthy, it may give birth to a litter of beautiful kittens. After confirming the items, the doctor handed over a piece of paper. This is an information form. You need to fill it out. Looking at the name column on the form, you thought about it and muttered, Xiaomi, I can associate it with a cat as soon as I hear it. I am really a genius in naming. Then you looked at the kitten pushed into the physical examination room with some pride. However, you rubbed your eyes the next second, wondering why you saw speechlessness on a cat's face. After everything was done, you bought a large bag of high-end cat food before leaving and returned home with a brand new calico cat. Then you opened a bag of cat food, and the fragrance immediately emanated. You have been wandering for so long, you must have never eaten fine brand. You scooped up a bowl of food and pushed it in front of Xiaomi with expectation. Here it is, eat it quickly, little greedy cat. However, the calico cat just sniffed it lightly and looked at you with a constipated look as if saying, Can this thing be eaten? However, in your expectant eyes, it symbolically bit a piece of dried tofu and chewed it, and then spit it out, and then spit it out, and then spit twice like a human, and then shook its tail and walked towards the French window. Seeing that Xiaomi was not interested in cat food at all, you also scratched your head. Is it not to its taste? Isn't it a stray cat? Why is it picky about food? At this time, the doorbell rang at the door. You opened the door and saw that it was the waiter of the private restaurant downstairs, carrying boxes of freshly cooked delicacies. This is your habit before getting off work every day, asking the restaurant to prepare the food and send it up. After sending the boy away, you washed your hands and were about to go to eat when you suddenly saw a shocking scene. The calico cat turned the tables and sat at the table carelessly, eating its own sweet and sour pork ribs, taking a bite of ribs and a sip of fresh fish soup, and not forgetting to eat a bite of vegetables to supplement vitamin. Get down from here, you're so stupid. You are still at the table, but I haven't eaten yet. You looked at the messy table with great heartache, and then picked up the calico cat, but it looked unconvinced, as if saying, it's just eating something. Why are you so excited? Looking at the leftovers on the table, you choked up immediately. You just got vaccinated. Can you still eat this table of food? It should be okay, right? In the end, you didn't care so much and picked up a rib from the bottom and started to eat. However, what you don't know is that the calico cat's face turned red like a human's, and it looked at you shyly as if it was bothered by the indirect kiss. After eating a few bites in a hurry, your phone suddenly rang. After answering the call, your colleague Fat Tiger's ghostly voice came from the other side. Big Bear, your chance has come. Big news today. Our company's beautiful CEO, your Yuan, is missing. Hearing this, you were a little speechless and immediately said, depressed lie, you called for this. What does the disappearance of the female CEO have to do with me? I didn't kidnap her. However, just as you finished speaking, the calico cat scratched your hair from behind, but you casually hugged it in your arms and needed it for a while. Then came the voice of Fat Tiger. You don't know yet. Our female president has never been in love. She is a little white flower, and now she has run away from home. If you find her, won't you become a phoenix after you get her? Hearing this, you said unhappily, why don't you go and find her? If I go, it will be like the dwarf saving Snow White, and if you go, it will be like you pledge your love to her. What a mess, I don't have the time for this. I'm hanging up now, don't delay me from making money. With 2 beeps, you hung up the phone mercilessly. Then you took the computer and started browsing the latest financial news. At this time, the calico cat ran to the door and began to scratch the door with its claws in an attempt to escape. Seeing this, you tilted your neck and shouted, Xiaomi, be quiet. After that, you began to operate the computer and muttered, the stock of Rice Mobile is going to fall sharply. This is my chance. Hearing your mumbling, the calico cat snorted disapphonically. What a fantasy. Rice Mobile is now in its heyday. How could it fall? If you really do this, you will definitely lose everything. Just as you were about to start operating, the calico cat suddenly jumped onto the keyboard and stomped on it, trying to stop you. Why, you don't want me to do this. You have already seen that this calico cat that you have no intention of adopting is very smart. Then you picked it up and said to yourself, the stock of Rice Company has been rising recently. It seems that there is still a lot of room for growth, but in fact it has reached its end. The main reason is that the 2 largest directors in the company are preparing to jointly acquire it. Hearing this, the calico cat's face was full of confusion. He didn't expect that this little transparent person in the company could actually get such internal information. It seems that he has some connections of his own. But in this case, why would you be willing to be an ordinary employee? After you finish the operation, it is already late at night. After a quick wash, you lie down on the big bed in the bedroom and fall asleep. However, at this moment, a pair of glowing eyes suddenly opened on the sofa in the living room. It stood up and tiptoed to the front door, trying to jump onto the shoe cabinet and use gravity to open the door handle. Just as the calico cat was about to act, a faint white light flashed, and the calico cat turned into a human with a standard model figure and a pair of thin and long white legs. I'm back again. You are you why? And looked at herself and blushed immediately. Why are her clothes gone? When she saw a man sleeping in a house not far away, Liu Yuan felt strange. She was so shy. Finally, she found the set of loose t-shirt shorts in the cloakroom and then came to your window. It was this abominable guy who forcibly kidnapped me to my home and almost sterilized me. Thinking of this, Liu Yuan gestured at a dangerous part of your body, which was considered to be relieved. The next second, she picked up your mobile phone on the bedside, unlocked it with your fingerprint, and immediately sent a text message to her best friend Wang Ru. Come to Kankan intersection, pick me up now, don't reply. After sending it, she deleted the text message immediately, and then why, and glared at you fiercely before leaving the house. Not long after walking to the gate of the community, Liu Yuan got into a white Panamera, but she did not go home, but went directly back to the office. Then she turned on the computer and browsed through the detailed information. Yuan was very glad to hear your analysis by accident. Otherwise, she would not be able to judge the true situation of the Rice phone at all, and this time saved the company's inevitable loss. Is it possible that turning into a cat is a reward from heaven? I just don't know when I will turn into a cat again. No, I don't want to turn back. Thinking of this, Liu Yuan twisted her body unnaturally. Her mind was full of the way you held her in your arms and needed her. The stinky man dared to take advantage of me. At 9 o'clock the next morning, Liu Yuan fell asleep leaning on a chair. In her dream, she turned into a cat again, and you held her in your arms and slept all night. In a trance, she heard the assistant's gentle reminder in her ear, and Liu Yuan woke up slowly. The directors are all here and waiting in the conference room. I know. After saying that, Liu Yuan calmed down and walked out of the office. Thinking of the nightmare just now and not sleeping well all night, Liu Yuan suddenly became a little irritable. When passing by an office area, Liu Ruy and deliberately slowed down her pace and finally found you in the corner browsing your phone. Stinky man, I didn't sleep well last night and I have to attend a meeting. How dare you slack off at work? The employee who plays with his mobile phone in the corner deduct his bonus this month. Okay. Zheng Li was stunned for a moment and hurriedly wrote it down, but her expression was a little surprised. Since she started working with General Manager Liu, she has never seen her be so strict with any employee. Moreover, mobile phones are also office tools. Many people in the office area are using mobile phones. Why only punish you? However, the next second, the cold and irritable voice sounded again. I remember there is another one called Fat Tiger, right? Yes, that's it. Zheng Li pointed to a fat employee. His bonus will also be deducted. General Manager Liu, he didn't play with his mobile phone. He spoke too loudly. Hearing this, Zheng Li was stunned. Did he just speak? Before he'd figure it out, Liu Ruy and walked into the meeting room. At the same time, you were sitting with your legs crossed and watching a short video of a cat blogger's daily life. Suddenly, the supervisor came over and said unhappily, "You are still playing. You didn't notice General Manager you coming over just now. She saw you playing with your phone and fined you this month's bonus." Hearing this, you sat up suddenly, unsaid in shock. What? Didn't General Manager you disappear? As soon as this was said, the supervisor immediately knocked you on the head with the report missing. You big-headed ghost. Fat Tiger noticed the movement here and came over with a mean look. Your bonus was deducted. You deserve it, you are. However, before he finished speaking, the supervisor slowly turned around, looked at Fat Tiger and gritted his teeth and said, "She didn't say you were it. It was also specially approved by General Manager Yu, and your bonus is gone." Fat Tiger immediately got angry. "Why do you want to deduct it from me too?" On the other side, your Yuan in the meeting room seemed a little absent-minded. When she thought of being picked up by you and being touched on the head, Liu Yuan's pretty face flushed instantly. During the whole meeting, she often lost her mind. After the meeting, she suddenly thought of something. Will I turn back into a cat? Which home should I go back to after I get off work? She hesitated. Of course, it would be best to go back to the villa so that people can prepare delicious food. Even if she turns into a cat, it won't have much impact. But for some reason, a thought that even scared her flashed through her mind. Go to Da Zhong's house. No, it was an accident that she was picked up last time. This time she took the initiative to go back. It seems like she wants to spy on other people's lives. She is the president of Kankan Group. But soon, Liu Yuan thought of a compromise and then told the secretary rent a house near his home and asked the secretary to change the door lock. Change it to a light one, preferably a lock that a cat can easily push open. Although the secretary was a little confused, he still did it. At the same time, Fat Tiger was still dissatisfied with the deduction of bonus, as if his mother had died. Damn it, I'm really convinced that I can be deducted for talking at work. Evil capitalism. But rather a little strange, and asked, "Didn't you say yesterday that the president was missing? Where did you get the news?" Hearing this, Fat Tiger broke his fingers to press lie. "Yesterday, after get off work, I saw a bunch of people looking for General Manager Yu in the parking lot. It seemed that he entered the parking lot and suddenly disappeared. I thought he was kidnapped by the kidnappers. I didn't expect that my bonus would be deducted early this morning. It wasn't me who kidnapped him. It's really a disaster for innocent people." Hearing this, you thought about it. You were also in the parking lot after get off work yesterday, and it seems that you didn't see this scene. Forget it. Don't think about these things. Now there is an extra cat in the house, and I need to worry more. I don't know what the house will be like after returning home. When it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, Liu Yuan got off work early and returned to the newly rented house. Then he had a simple meal and prepared to transform into calm. Sure enough, at 5 o'clock, Liu Yuan suddenly had a strange feeling as if she urgently needed to go to the toilet, and then she turned back into a cat again. Do you turn back on time at 5 o'clock every afternoon? She glanced at the time, ran to the door and squeezed out, and then came to your door and waited. Because she was busy all day and had just eaten, she felt a little sleepy. Just when she was about to lie down, Liu Yuan straightened her head with force. "No, I am a man with backbone. How can I really curl up like a cat and wait for others to come home? Wouldn't that make you your Schatzchen and me a pet? But you are obviously my subordinate. So she decided to cheer up and stand and wait, just like a master waiting for a servant to come home. Because she was so sleepy, Liu Yuan fell asleep in the corner of the door after only 10 minutes. When it was 545, he walked in the corridor of your floor and saw Xiaomi standing at the door from a distance. This scene made you laugh directly. This cat is quite arrogant. Then you picked it up and said with a smile, "How did you get out? Can you open the door? My me is amazing. It is as smart as me." Lia Yuan woke up the moment she was picked up and expressed her dissatisfaction strongly. "Is this how you treat your president? There is also a Xiaomi. This name is too rustic, just like the dog in the village called Da Wang." Although it was very angry, it was powerless to resist, so you opened the door and put it on the ground. "Go home, Xiaomi." Hearing this, Liu Yuan sneered disaffably. "This is not going home at all. I just come to collect information and examine the quality of employees. If you perform well, I can consider promoting your position. As for treating this place as home, no way, you are the president. Do you really want to keep it as a pet?" After entering the house, you open the window for fresh air, blowing the cool breeze and clearing your mind. After a while, she squatted in front of Xiaomi and asked in confusion, "Where did you go yesterday? How did you get out? Where are my clothes?" Wyan's eyes widened immediately with an innocent look on her face. "Why are you looking at me? I'm just a harmless little cat." Looking at the aggrieved Xiaomi, you couldn't help but reach out and touch its head gently. However, the next second, Wyan immediately warned you, "Don't move, I won't touch you." Of course, you know that it is common to not touch a cat that has just been brought home for a period of time, but you just don't believe it. You immediately picked it up and combed its fur in the opposite direction. Because cats are very sensitive, their fur is combed in the opposite direction, just like their hair is pressed to one side when they sleep. It is really uncomfortable. After you finished the prank, you put it down and turned around and ran away. Wyan immediately glared at you fiercely, her sharp claws exposed, and she was ready to kill you. This guy is just a stinky man. It turns out that the natural enemy of cats is dogs. But soon she tried to calm down, don't be angry. Then she started to comb her hair. "Wait until 9:30 p.m., then you can take a shower." At this time, Liu Yuan was very thirsty, but she was very resistant to the water in the cat bowl. "I am not a cat. How can I drink water from a cat bowl?" Finally, she looked up and saw your water cup. No, that cup of water was drunk by Daljean. "If I drank it myself, wouldn't it be indirect?" Then Yuan looked at the cat bowl in front of her and your cup of water on the table and hesitated for a long time. Finally, she jumped onto the table, lowered her head directly, put her head into the cup and started drinking water. After drinking enough, Yuan shook her head happily. Then she looked at the cup, then looked at her paws. "This stinky man is deliberately not treating himself as a human being, right?" The next second, Liu Yuan happily put herb onto the cup. "I told you to comb against your hair, so I'll let you drink the water in the foot basin." However, as soon as Herb entered the cup, you pushed the door out. "It's over." Liu Yuan tried to break free, but she found it was completely useless, so she prepared to be beaten. But you didn't do anything. Just looked at her and said gently, "You can use this cup, but you are not allowed to use it to wash your feet in the future." Hearing this, Liu Yuan was stunned for a moment. This guy seemed to have a good temper. However, just when she had a good impression of you, you gently touched her head, then touched her chin and even directly touched the base of her tail, which made Liu Yuan's heartbeat suddenly accelerate. "Stinky man, what are you touching?" "Meow." Immediately she screamed and was about to bite you, but you smiled and put her on the ground. "Isn't it just a touch so stingy? How about I buy you meat tomorrow?" After Liu Yan landed, she immediately hid under the sofa and didn't come out. She had never been touched like this by a man, which made her angry and ashamed. However, your teasing voice continued. Xiaomi, don't be so stingy. We still have more than 10 years together. Anyway, I will touch you in the future. What's the matter with a few touches in advance? Hearing this, Liu Yuwai and me, oh angrily. Who wants to spend more than 10 years with you? I'm leaving tomorrow and never coming back. Wow, I was touched by a man I just met for a day. For that little information, I really lost a lot. Fortunately, you did not pull her out from under the sofa, but lay on the sofa enjoying the evening breeze and started to browse the news in the financial section. It was not until 10:30 in the evening that you got up and prepared to go to bed. After there was no movement in the living room, Liu Yuan also decided to go outside to get some fresh air. After all, it was not comfortable to hide under the sofa for so long. Just when she poked her head out, you got up and caught her. Hugh smiled and said, "Okay, take you to bed." Hearing this, Liu Yuan struggled hard. "Let me go, who wants to sleep with you?" Although she kept mewing, you ignored her and went back to the room and lay on the bed. Liu Yuan wanted to escape, but you held her belly. The next second, Liu Yuan opened her mouth to bite, but you put your index finger on her chin and scratched her gently for a few times. It was actually quite comfortable. Liu Yuan gradually adapted to the cat's body and felt comfortable when her chin was touched. Because of its natural TS under ear rebuke, it would struggle desperately even if it was comfortable. It would never sleep with this stinky man. You didn't understand Xiaomi's real thoughts and thought he was playing with you. Then you put one hand on his chin to prevent him from biting you and touched his belly with the other hand, saying, "We will live together in the future. Be friendly. I will always love you. After all, you are a member of my family." Listening to your soft words, Liu Yuan's heartbeat suddenly accelerated and became more shy. Then you moved your body, hugged Liu Yuan into your arms, and whispered, "Okay, good night, Xiaomi." This was the first time in her life that she was hugged by a man other than her father. Her heart almost jumped out of her chest, but this guy was too strong and she couldn't get away at all. So she decided to wait until you fell asleep before quietly leaving. But after waiting for half an hour, you still didn't fall asleep and even touched her head from time to time, which made Liu Yuan a little annoyed. "Can you go to bed earlier? You fall asleep so slowly? Is there something wrong with your kidneys?" After a while, you still didn't fall asleep, but Liu Yuan fell asleep first. It wasn't until 5 o'clock the next morning that Liu Yuan woke up vaguely. The next second, she was shocked. "How did you fall asleep?" Thinking of this, Liu Yuan quickly covered her face with her hands. "Wait, cover your face. This action doesn't seem to be something a cat can do, right?" Liu Yuan was stunned for 3 seconds, and as she looked down, she realized that she had turned back into a human. The dry and smooth sheets, the slightly cool breeze in the early morning, and your scent bang, bang, bang. At this moment, Liu Yuan could hear her heartbeat getting faster and faster, and her fair skin turned light pink because of shyness. When she thought that she was a female president in charge of a company worth hundreds of billions, she had seen all kinds of storms, and then she forced herself to calm down. "It's just the first time I sleep in the same bed with a boy. It's no big deal." Then she turned around carefully, and her slender feet landed on the floor with almost no sound. After 2 experiences with cats, she now knows how to walk quietly, but she is still extremely nervous and dare not walk too fast, because as long as you open your eyes, she will be exposed in front of you. Fortunately, you did not wake up when you walked into the living room. Then she quickly took a piece of clothing from the balcony and put it on her body, making sure that she would not be exposed, and then walked towards the door. As the door handle was gently opened, Liu Yuan's beautiful face showed a trace of excitement. Although she successfully slipped away, she still remained calm and even did not forget to pick up a shoe to hold the door, because she would have to come back again later to put your clothes back to avoid your suspicion. So Liu Yuan went straight to the next door after going out, and when she really returned to her home, she was completely relieved. "It's safe for the time being. I was really scared. This is more frightening than managing hundreds of millions of assets." After taking a breath, Liu Yuan quickly changed back into her own clothes and returned to your home again, then quickly hung up her clothes and went out again. This time she thoroughly cleaned up all traces. Bye, stinky boy, I won't come again. After going out, Liu, R-U-Y, and made a face at your door. I didn't get any intelligence today, and no bit they took advantage of me, not to mention that I actually lay in the same bed with this guy. It's too bad. I will never set foot here again in the future. No matter how poor I am, even if the company goes bankrupt, I will never live with this guy again. At 8 o'clock in the morning, you woke up and glanced around. Where's Xiaomi? You called out, but no one answered. But you didn't worry anyway. There was food and drink at home. It should be fine. So after a simple wash, you came to the company. It happened to be Friday today, and you can lie at home and enjoy the weekend lazily. In the president's office, your Uguayan picked up the cup to drink water and suddenly remembered the past of using your cup and suddenly became a little irritated. Why does this annoying man always appear? After coming to her senses, she seemed to have thought of something, called the assistant, and instructed, a friend of mine wants to join the group to learn some financial knowledge. You help arrange him to the group analysis department 3, preferably group 6. By the way, don't go yourself, let others help arrange it. Zheng Li was confused. Can I do it? Hearing this, Liu Yuan said seriously, I'm afraid they will think too much and think that we put him in on purpose, which will be very stressful. Zheng Li suddenly realized it, nodded quickly. I understand, I'll arrange it now. However, as soon as the assistant left, Liu Yuan immediately picked up another mobile phone, registered a new account, and then pressed the back of her hand on her face to calm herself down. Analysis Department 3. Group 6 is the working group where that stinky man is. After doing all this, Liu Yuan returned to her apartment in advance and waited until 5 o'clock. However, she was prepared this time and tried to control the feeling of turning into a cat. However, when the transformation moment came again, her beautiful cheeks could not bear it for only a few minutes and turned back into a cat again. But Yuan was not discouraged. Instead, she jumped to the bed and started looking at her phone. Why haven't you added me to the group yet? I have sent the account to Zheng Li. At this moment, you just returned home and shouted, Xiaomi, I'm back. But there was no response. Then you looked at the cat food and water bowl and found that there were no signs of movement. Then you hurriedly looked around and found that the cat was missing. Did it run around again? You sighed and turned to go out to look for it, but you searched the corridor and couldn't find any trace of the cat. Just as you went downstairs to look for it, your phone vibrated. You took it out to check and found that it was a new message from Fat Tiger in the company group. Would you like to come out for a drink? I'll treat you. Let's go eat grilled lamb chops. Liu Yuan also noticed this message. At 6 o'clock, she was pulled into the group by the team leader, who introduced her as a new learner. The people in the group warmly welcomed her. She wanted to reply to a message and pretend to be a novice, but it was too difficult to type with a cat's claw, so she had to give up. Fortunately, no one noticed her silence. At this moment, she stared at the screen of her mobile phone, observing the people in the group chat. Finally, there was a message about the stinky man. No, my cat is missing at home, and I'm looking for it. When Yuan saw this message, she was stunned. Is he looking for me? The next second, Liu Yuan lay on the edge of the bed, feeling a little proud in her heart. This is the consequence of touching randomly. Now you know you are anxious. Then she jumped onto the dining table and proudly ate the pre-prepared food. Even without hands, it was very convenient to eat. After eating, she was stingy for a while. It was not until 9:30 in the evening that she woke up and struggled to scroll the message with her paws, wanting to know if the stinky man had said anything. But after looking around, there was nothing. She immediately felt a little disappointed. Stinky man, don't you have hands? Why don't you send a message? Just then, a new message popped up. Brother Jean, have you found the cat? We are going to move to Sing. Do you want to come together? Still looking, you go first. Seeing the message you sent, colleagues in the group were very surprised. It had been 3 hours and they were still looking. Even Liu Yuan was stunned. This stinky man was still looking for her. At this time, Xiao Fu in the group replied, Not really, brother. There must be a lot of mosquitoes outside now, right? Then you posted a photo of your legs, which had 32 mosquito bites on them. After posting the photo, you also complained. Now you can be said to be a person with mosquito bites. Seeing this scene, Fat Tiger was speechless. Don't look for it. I'll give you a cat. It's different. I picked it up. I didn't keep an eye on it. At this time, the female colleagues in the group saw your deep affection and began to make a noise. Brother Jean, you are too responsible. Don't you really want a girlfriend? I am willing. I can't write too. Come on, I will continue to look for it. Don't worry about me. I can't let people be bullied to death by mosquitoes. Yuan looked at the chat records and was stunned. In a trance, she felt a different emotion in her heart, a little sour and a little warm. She didn't seem to be so bad. Then she turned over and lay on her back, belly up, looking at the ceiling. When can I master the control settings of the transformation? The alarm clock is at 4:30 in the morning. Let's try to master it today. By 11 o'clock in the evening, they had been searching for nearly 5 hours and had searched every corner of the community, but still couldn't find. Finally, they had to return home and picked up their mobile phones to report that they were safe. I'm home, don't worry about me. At this time, Fat Tiger comforted, haven't you found it yet? How about buying a new one? But you still didn't want to give up and replied, let's talk about it later. Saying this, Yuan shook her tail. This stinky man still had a conscience and didn't rush to find a new cat to take home. At this time, Xiaofu asked in the group with concern, Brother Zhang, can you let me see your legs? After 2.5 seconds, photos of legs full of lumps appeared in the group again. Although the swellings from mosquito bites were reduced, there were still dozens of large and small red lumps on the whole leg. Perhaps it was the end of the nightlife, and the colleagues in the group began to become active. It's so funny, this leg looks like it has been through a battle. I'm almost laughing. This leg is itchy. Mosquito should count out to apologize to you. Even the team leader, who is usually not very active in the group, couldn't help but leave a message. Is this leg real? But you replied calmly, it's just a leg, and it's the one that was not bitten so badly. Although the colleagues in the group said they felt sorry for him, they were actually laughing constantly. But at this moment, Liu Yuan always felt that something was wrong. This man was usually quite smart, so why was he so stupid about this? If he couldn't find it, he could just go home. He was really stupid. Yuan waited until nearly 1 o'clock, and the excitement in the group gradually subsided, and she fell asleep. The next morning, before the alarm went off, Liu Yuan had already woken up. Just after 5 o'clock, the feeling of turning into a human suddenly became stronger. She tried her best to restrain herself, but she didn't change for 30 minutes. It seems easier to control it at turning into a human. Suddenly, Liu Yuan was a little excited. If she could really control the moment when she turned into a human, maybe she could stay with that stinky man for a while. By noon, Liu Yuan had adapted to that feeling until another day passed, and by 5 o'clock in the morning, Liu Yuan couldn't bear it this time and turned back into a human. But she also found a pattern from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. at 1200 am. You must remain in the state of a cat, but during the day, you can choose to be a cat or a human. Thinking of this, Liu Yuan pursed her lips, and her two white feet stepped lightly on each other. Let's see what the man is busy with first. He shouldn't continue to look for it. Although she said so, Liu Yuan was still a little uneasy when she opened the chat interface. She kept sliding the screen to check, and soon saw that at 11 o'clock yesterday morning, someone asked Dao Zhong for information and asked him if he had found the cat. He replied that he was still looking. How stupid. Yuan was stunned for a moment, and then muttered, it's been a whole day, and he's still looking. It's still very hot during the day, especially in the sun, which makes people feel quite uncomfortable. However, when Yuan browsed all the information about you, she found that you were not only looking, but you haven't even returned home and have been looking outside. This man is quite pitiful. Go back to see him on Monday. After all, he is my employee. How can he help me make money if he is in poor health? Liu Yuan found a few excuses to make herself feel at ease. When you got off work on Monday, the elevator door on your floor had just opened when you suddenly heard a cat's cry. You were stunned for a moment, and when you walked out of the elevator, you saw a calico cat in the corridor at the corner. You were surprised to see this, but Liu Ruyan was in a good mood when she saw your expression. In fact, there are many people pursuing her, but the more attentive those people are, the more disgusted she is. You are different. You are low-key at work and very friendly to small animals. Of course, even if you perform well, you can't touch me. I am your boss, the president. Just while Ruy and was thinking about it, she found herself hanging in the air. You grabbed her neck with a cold face. Liu Ruyan was a little flustered. Why did this guy have such an expression? Shouldn't he be very excited? When you opened the door and entered the house, she immediately educated him. You are quite capable. You actually ran away from home. Hearing this, Liu Ruyan felt a little timid. I'm just a little cat. I don't understand what you are saying. Suddenly you touched your chin and thought, will mosquitoes bite cats? Liu Ruyan was stunned for a moment. Before she could react, you took out your phone to check and said, it's a pity that cats have fur, and mosquitoes don't seem to like biting them, but the nose should be okay. Otherwise, I will catch a mosquito and deal bite your nose. Liu Ruyan was stunned by these words. This guy could come up with such an idea. I really shouldn't think that he is a good person just because he went to such great lengths to find a cat. This guy is simply a dog-like person, a stinky man. However, the next second, you thought about it and said, no, you will definitely struggle. It will be bad if you get hurt, right? You still have some conscience. However, Liu Ruyan just praised you in her heart, and you said again, I have thought of a way to make you feel itchy without hurting yourself by resisting. After saying that, you stood up and picked up a thread. Seeing this, Liu Ruyan was stunned. She wanted to resist, but after turning into a cat, her neck was pinched and it was difficult to struggle. Fortunately, you just raised the thread and scared her. Since you are young and it's a cat, I will spare you this time. Don't run around next time. Do you know how long I have been looking for you and how many mosquito bites you have received? Hearing this, Liu Ruyan let out a sigh of relief. You are still kind. How I relaxed for half a second before you put her on your stomach and gently combed her back with your hands. Liu Ruyan's heartbeat suddenly accelerated. Who allowed you to touch me randomly? She turned her head and tried to bite you, but you reacted quickly and hid aside. Then Liu Ruyan saw the opportunity and immediately got under the sofa. It seems that coming back is a mistake. She'll come back tomorrow. Cats and dogs don't get along at all. And you ignored her and ordered takeout. You also bought 2 boxes of milk in a milk bottle. When the takeout arrived at 7 o'clock, you opened the milk, heated it a little, and then poured it into the small milk bottle. Ruyan hid under the sofa, secretly watching all this, and laughed secretly. Do whatever you want. If I can let you feed me, it won't be a problem for you to touch my head in the future. What a joke, I'm a cat after all. Under the sofa, I'm invincible. However, you did not approach the sofa but went to the bathroom first, and then came out with a large basin of water. Just when Ruyan was confused, you started to pour water under the sofa. Anyway, it didn't matter if there was water on the floor tiles. Ruyan never thought that you were so smart. She originally planned to grit her teeth and endure for a while, but the water hitting her fur was really uncomfortable. In the end, she couldn't help it and rushed out directly, opening her mouth to bite you. You can't bully people like this. Today we both have a bad day, meow. And you only took half a step back. Liu Ruyan pounced on nothing and then grabbed the back of the neck. She has been taken away by you for many firsts. The first time a man held her hand, the first time a man slapped her a bit, the first time a man massaged her whole body, but she never thought that she would be fed by a man for the first time. At this moment, Liu Ruyan closed her mouth tightly and refused to drink, and you were not in a hurry. You scratched her chin and said, eat well, your body will be healthy, open your mouth obediently. But no matter how softly Yui whispered, she still resolutely kept her mouth shut. After trying for a few minutes, seeing that she was not cooperating, you directly used your fingers to pry open her mouth, and Liu Ruyan also bit down, but she only bit gently with the old teeth next to her, and she had no strength at all. The next second you took the opportunity to stuff the bottle into her mouth. As soon as the goat milk entered her mouth, Liu Ruyan almost choked and swallowed it instinctively. It's over. Liu Ruyan's face immediately sank. She was really fed by a man and drank it, which made Liu or Yuan's inner defense suddenly collapse. Forget it. Drink more milk to make this cat body stronger and make its claws and teeth sharper. She swears to bite you to death. After drinking a bottle, you put it aside with satisfaction and started working. Liu or Yuan was behind you, silently looking at your plan, and she looked at it for 2.5 hours. This guy has a clear mind. He can grasp three key issues after just one look. He is really smart. It would be better if he was not so dog-like. Just as Liu Yuan was lost in thought, she suddenly felt something sticking to her belly. When she came to her senses and looked down, she was stunned. She saw your handsome face buried in her belly, rubbing back and forth. In your opinion, it was rare that the cat did not resist much, so you would not miss this opportunity to pet the cat. The soft touch was really healing. However, you were relaxed, but Liu Yuan, the cat, was frozen, with four legs, hanging stiffly in the air, completely at a loss. Bang, bang, she felt that her heart was about to jump out. A man's face was rubbing against her belly. This kind of intimate contact was too much for a rookie who had never even been in love. After being stunned for 2.5 seconds, Liu Yuan began to struggle desperately. Bad guy, let me go, meow. The next second, her claws slapped your face without hesitation. Fortunately, she was not so cruel and did not scratch you. Seeing the other party move, you spoke with confidence as your master. Is there any problem with me kissing you? Master, can the master kiss the cat casually? Don't cats have rights? Are you related to Husky? After complaining for a few words, Liu Yuan realized that something was wrong. What master? He is the president of Kun Group, and you are just an employee. Perhaps it was the intimate action just now that caused Liu Yuan's thoughts to be confused, so she decided to hide under the coffee table first. And you looked at the cat under the table and said, kissing twice won't cause hair loss. Don't be so stingy. Yuan rolled her eyes and threatened you with a breath sound. Seeing the cat's reaction so intense, you spread your hands. It's the first time. It's normal to be excited. You'll get used to it slowly. It's okay. I will give you time. Hearing this, Liu Yuan looked puzzled. If you can't speak, don't speak. After 10 minutes, you cut a watermelon from the kitchen and enjoyed it alone, while Yuan hid under the coffee table, trying to calm herself down. But when she thought about how she, as a president, had fallen to this point, and how you were just an employee, at most a shit shoveler, but now you were easily eating watermelon and watching a movie, Liu Yuan, who was so angry, immediately decided to bite you, and then quickly retreated under the coffee table, preferably to let the watermelon in your hand fall to the ground. Thinking of your annoyed look at the broken watermelon, Liu Yuan felt secretly happy. In an instant, she suddenly attacked, and you had already noticed the movement and gently raised your foot and stepped on her back. Immediately, the expression on Yuan's face disappeared instantly, and she was sure that you were her nemesis in this life. The next second, she grabbed her neck and lifted it up. Is your master surnamed Ma and taught you not to be a martial artist? After saying that, you put the cat on the sofa, holding it with one hand and stroking its chin with the other hand for 40 minutes. Finally, she couldn't bear it anymore. This stinky man likes to touch your chin so much, right? Let's see how I will use my position as the president to touch your chin tomorrow. He also likes to splash water, right? Yuan has made up her mind. One of her and this stinky man must die first, and this matter can be settled. After finally making it to 10:30 p.m., you took a shower and prepared to go to bed. Yuan wanted to hide under the sofa to escape, but you still found her. Stay with me, you said, and picked up the cat and went into the bedroom and even locked the door. Just like this, one person and one cat lay on the bed. Yuan smelled the faint scent of shower gel on your body, and she quickly adjusted her breathing to calm herself down. I must not fall asleep today. When he falls asleep, I will hide under the bed and wake up at 440 in the morning. However, after 5 minutes, Liu Yuan's breathing became smooth and she fell asleep. When she opened her eyes again, Liu Yuan controlled her breathing and looked at you sideways. You were sleeping soundly with your hair hanging naturally beside your cheeks, looking gentle and handsome. The next second, Liu Yuan's face instantly flushed, and she quickly looked away and prepared to get out of bed. As a result, when she just lifted the air-conditioned quilt, she found that your hand was on her belly. And now she is not a cat. Yuan can feel your large palm and the temperature of your body. In just 3 seconds, her face turned red at a speed visible to the naked eye. You stinky man, where are your paws? In the end, she could only sigh helplessly. Forget it. This kind of thing is not the first time. Then she gently removed your hand, turned around, opened the door, and left the room. Just like last time, she stole a piece of clothing and went back to the next door, changed her clothes, and went back to hang up your clothes. As she gently closed the door, she leaned against the slightly cooled door panel. Until then, the blush on Yuan's neck slowly faded. Dead man. And bit her lip, muttered softly, and then got up and went downstairs. At 7:30 in the morning, after you woke up, you habitually reached out to touch your side and found it was empty. Xiaomi. You called out, but no one responded. Then you got up and looked around, but still couldn't find him. Where did this guy go? As you were thinking, you were about to go wash up when suddenly the doorbell rang. You were wondering who had come so early? When you opened the door, it turned out to be the female president Liu Yuan standing at the door. Her face was slightly red, her eyes were a little evasive, and she seemed a little embarrassed, but she still pretended to be calm and said, I have something to talk to you about the company project. Is it convenient to talk now?